Hi, today I just wanted to talk to you about some tips to get started in your homeschooling adventure. Do some things together as a family. These would be great. So, number one, first and biggest thing is to erase the thought that your kids have to sit at a desk for 8 hours doing rote work. It just doesn't need to happen. Public school has to be ran that way because they have 25 to 35 kids per classroom. They always have to teach at the lowest level, and also teachers can't come up with different things every day. So there's tons of rote work, and they have to basically babysit your kids for 8 hours a day, or sometimes six, depending on your school district. And so they just throw in a lot of stuff. They just throw in a lot of extra stuff. In public school, they repeat the same exact thing, same subject for every other year. So every odd year is the same, every even year is the same. If you don't believe me, look at the curriculum. I just briefly, for like 4 months, did a internet school with my kids, and I had kids in like 5th, 7th, and ninth grade. They were all exactly the same curriculum. History was the same. English was the same. I was like, what in the world? The questions may have been a tiny bit different, but they're the exact same. The only thing that changes a little bit is math. If you go up in levels, if your child's not great at math or not comfortable with it, they'll stay in general math forever. It'll be the same stuff over and over again. So erase your thought that your kids have to sit at a desk or a table doing school for 8 hours a day to get enough education to be schooled. That's a crazy, crazy idea. Number two, buy or check out from your library or borrow from friends or family interesting books. So you don't have to buy all of them. You can use your library. I know a lot of libraries are closed down right now, but you can do a lot of audio books. You can still get easily. You can borrow from friends. Books in your hand or hardback books that you have in your hand are going to be way better, especially for younger kids, especially if you're trying to teach them to read. In your younger kids, if you have anywhere from infant to 10 or 11, read to them. Read to them lots. Anytime they are wanting to sit down and be still, or you want a quieter time, read to them. That is a great thing to perk their curiosity and their creativity. If you run your finger along the words, they start picking up the words. It will show them that reading books can be adventurous, can be learning time. So it's just great. Read to your kids. Or is sit around the table after dinner or after meals and just discuss interesting subjects. This can go on for hours at our house. If we're talking about one thing and somebody's like, oh, I wonder what that is or where it's at or how much that is or whatever, and we look it up quickly, and then that can either get us deeper in that subject or we can move on to a new subject, especially when it's about countries or different cultures. We can talk and talk and talk, especially my husband and his oldest and youngest son. They can talk forever on just a myriad of subjects. And my youngest son can answer questions on just about anything. He will know the answers. Unit studies. unit studies, I'm going to do a different video on how do you do unit studies and everything you can do with unit studies, but they're very simple. You can take a subject you're interested in, say wells, and you can think of the different subjects that you can incorporate in the study of wells. And you can incorporate all ages, you can incorporate all subjects, and you can just completely teach from one subject all your kids and all the subjects, and you can cover them. It's unit studies are just fantastic. Have fun with science, math. Have fun science, math materials available for them. Keep it real life, especially with math. It's so easy to come up with math things, math problems, math situations in real life. And if it's hands-on in real life, then the kids can grasp the concepts. If you say in a word problem, find the area of da 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 da, of this room, and it's this and this. That is so confusing, and they have no concept of what do you mean by area, what do you mean by this size, anything. My daughter, when she was probably 10, helped my husband lay a wood floor in a smaller bedroom room, and she measured and figured out how long the piece should be, how much area they had to cover, how much wood they need. I mean, she was just like completely knew how to do it by the time she was done, and did it quickly and well. So just think up real life situations to teach math. Have fun math and science equipment like microscopes, test tubes, things that especially that explode, or like your baking soda and vinegar. That's a highlight for all kids. And do fun science experiments and then talk them through with them. This is super easy. You can have a lot of day-to-day items in your home are math and science equipment. Measuring cups are math equipment. Measuring tapes. Little kids love measuring tapes. They love to measure everything. And then you can get into fractions, decimals, all that stuff. So that's a great way to teach math and science. Play games with your kids. I have this another time on here, but play games. Games have reading, they have hand-eye coordination, they can have science, geography, business math, logical, deductive thinking and reasoning. You can have learning numbers, letters, getting along well with others, teaching them how to lose and win with good attitudes. It's just playing games is really, really productive. And think of it as teaching your kids, and they are actually learning life skills by playing games. It's fun. Don't make it a learning experience. Keep it fun, but know that your kids are actually learning really good skills playing those games. Of course, I mean, everybody can see the learning in Monopoly. Great learning game. There's so much learning in Monopoly. So all games, even like Speed, has learning in it. Speed, hearts, concentration. All those games, they have counting, they have number recognition, letter recognition, reading, just a myriad of subjects. Have arts and craft supplies available to your kids anytime they want to use them. Also, your recycle bin is a great craft supply area. So have those available. Always encourage it for it's for curiosity's sake, for creativity's sake. When kids are creating, first of all, they're learning. And second of all, they're just using a part of their brain that connects deeper and they can learn other things with that. While I'm on that, I didn't write this down, but play music, especially classical and jazz music, will help your kids' brains connect and learn at a deeper level. It's been proven. Check it out. Make sure your kids get outdoors every day, especially if your kids are, or you are feeling grumpy, feeling just like, I'm done, anything like that. Go outside. A lot of times when my kids were younger, I would say, okay, go outside. You have to stay outside this amount of time. No matter what the weather, make the times specific to the weather situation, and don't tell them what to do. Let them find out the things to do. Let their boredom be their guide. Let their boredom be their teacher. Just send them outside. Don't buy them a bunch of toys to play with. Let them just have outdoors to play with. Now, some of you are in apartments or in a situation where they may not have free space right outside your house. Go on a walk, go to a park. There's just a ton of different things to find. Even inner city, find your closest park, your closest ideal outdoor area, and get outside, get in some sunshine, or it doesn't even have to be sunny out to get vitamin D, which is super healthy. Different aspects of outside, different types of dirt. It builds your immune system, builds your creativity, builds your curiosity. Point out things, point out new things every time, point out the same thing. My kids know if I see an eagle, I'm done. There's an eagle, that's the best thing of the day, because eagles are just like crazy good for me. So point out things, point out plants, point out rainbows, point out clouds, point out stars, point out trees, plants. Get them thinking, oh, I need to look at those things. Get them looking at things. That's another thing I didn't write down. That's a great thing for memory is like see things and then have them close their eyes and remember what they just saw and recite back to them. It's a great brain building game. Make sure your kids do some type of movement every day. So getting outdoors can take care of that one, but like walking, running, jumping, playing, swinging, the monkey bars, anything like that. Get a slack line, which is really, really fun. Great balance, great exercise, and kids love it. And as an adult, you should be doing it too because it really helps with balance, helps with all your muscle tones. Kids need to have some big movement. This is not, you may think, why is she talking about exercise? Well, first of all, if you don't get exercise, it affects your brain. It affects their learning. If they don't get some type of movement in, it's going to affect their learning, how much they learn, how much they can retain, all those things. It has to do with activity as well. That's another thing I'll just throw in here. If you have a child that has a hard time, if you're trying to teach them a concept or reading to them and they just won't sit still, let them play with something like Legos or a little truck or a little animals or whatever. Just they can have their hands on something and moving something around and concentrating. You'll find that they retain more if they're doing that than if you make them sit quiet and eyes on your face, because they usually don't retain as much. If their hands are busy, some of these learners are really a tactile, hands-on kind of person. If you will let them play with something hands-on while you're teaching a concept, even just talking about completely different, doesn't have to do with what they're touching, they will retain more information. Have your kids write on actual paper, like a letter to a family member or friend, or get Get a pen pal. They still have those. I know. Shocking. Look it up. They have pen pals from other states. Be careful, of course. Or have, if you have a family member in another state and they have a friend, ask them if their kids can write each other, if they don't know each other. It's really fun for kids. Also have them write different areas. Like I used to write different countries for information packets on their country. That's when we did any kind of reports in school. We would actually write to the different states or countries and get information packs. First of all, super fun, super cool. I know Google has it all, but there's something different about getting a piece of paper with the pictures and the information on it. And a lot of times they sent little things that had like a little keychain or something like that that had an actual thing from that country on it. So it's really cool. So those are some ways they could write on actual paper. Use handwriting. I know everybody's like, oh, it doesn't, nobody uses that anymore. Yes, they do. And it's part of learning. It's part of the brain. It affects another part of the brain, creativity. I would definitely say practice cursive writing. Definitely printing, definitely some type of writing. Don't allow them to only use typing or a computer. Have them write on paper, take notes, write down your grocery list, do something with actual handwriting every day. What I have for you today is just some tips and some things to think about when you're homeschooling. It's super easy, lifestyle learning. A lot of people call it unschooling because it has nothing to do with how the public school has decided the best way to school is, because that has nothing to do with teaching your kids while you're at home. If you have 3 to 5 kids, I had 8 at one time, you can hone in on how they learn, what they want to be learning, what you want them to be learning, and specific subjects. The other thing is they don't need near the amount of time public school thinks they need to learn a concept at all in any way, shape, or form. And wasting so much time and so much of the life of your kids when they could be exploring, being creative, searching on their own what the direction they want to go is, the direction they want to live life in. So allow your kids to be creative, be curious, and your homeschooling is just going to go fantastic. Stay tuned for the next video on unit studies. I'm going to walk you through on how to do that, how to write some. I'm writing some currently and hope to have some of those available for you soon. Anyway, if you like this video, press like and subscribe below.